So, you all probably remember the Ice Palace from A Link to the Past, and how much of a pain in the ass that one was.
Those damn penguins.
A Link Between Worlds has the Ice Runes, which, thankfully, is
Wait,
only
what were
half
you referencing penguins? Was that a Link to the Past?
Yes.
There
But
were also
James-
these penguins in Four Swords Adventures, and they were really obnoxious.
Probably the same variety for all I know. But, yeah, as I was saying, the Ice Runes, thankfully, is only about half as annoying as the Ice Palace was in Link to the Past. And this one, just like before, is multi-floored.
Yep. Although now we have these. Though now they actually had a really cool idea of this. Basically, this primary elevator system that works throughout the entire.
How many basements are in this dungeon?
5.
6.
Actually, 6.
Yes.
There's a lot. And right off the bat, we
Already?
already found our big key.
Well,
So this one is just about a. So this one, all we really got to do is just find the door and get out of here.
Yeah. Now, that being said, the ice, just because it was that simple enough to get the key does not automatically mean that this place is a cakewalk. In
That's
fact,
it? Just a green rupee?
yeah, no, this game will occasionally... wow. They trapped us over pittance.
oh boy. Well, thankfully they're easy to deal with.
We were going to buy taffy with that.
Taffy?
Saltwater
What?
taffy. I don't know. I was trying to come up with something that. What would be a candy that you would buy for a penny?
I would buy taffy for a penny. Remember when they did used to sell them for like 30 cents or something?
Yeah, it was like super quick and cheap.
I miss Laffy Taffy.
I was gonna say a box of ho-hos or something like that.
Oh,
Well,
Or
regardless.
ding-dongs.
Ding dongs.
Well, regardless, as you can already guess, in a place called the Ice Ruins, Fire One's going to be your best friend.
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty much the inverse
Yep.
of Turtle Rock from earlier.
All right, here we go.
Oh, that's right.
Oh no.
You recognize those doodads on the walls?
Yeah.
Sometimes, if
I
you're
hate
not
to
careful.
I hate to keep bringing this up, but Four Swords Adventure Fire Rod, they did some pretty cool stuff with the Fire Rod in that game.
now anyway,
Yeah.
about these purple thingies on the wall, James.
They come to life,
Oh boy.
Huh.
but they are very poor sidesteppers.
Oh boy.
to finish.
Just don't stand away from them, by the way. Just don't stand perpendicular to them, otherwise they'll charge you. Oh,
I
the
didn't
penguins!
I didn't get to finish.
What
We're talking about the damn penguins. Finish the thing then as we talk about the penguins and the Four Swords Adventure Flame Rod.
I didn't get to finish what I was saying about the Fire Rod.
Yeah, go for it, the Fire Rod, the Four Swords. Go for it.
You can upgrade your Fire Rod to a level 2, which is what you can with the majority of the items in that game. It can create blocks and platforms.
So it basically just turns into a fire rod slash cane of Picard, not Picard, cane of Samar, whatever
I think
the
so, yeah,
whatever
the
that
blue one.
the red
Yeah.
cane.
Oh, yeah, the red one. Doi. Somalia? No, not Somalia.
I think it was either
Was it
Somali or
Somalia?
Somali.
There are too many
No,
games
you're
to
right. Yeah,
memorize.
it was Somali.
Somalians.
And then I remember the cane Apache.
Yeah, from Minish Cap, which basically flips things.
Yeah.
And there was also the cane of Birna, which is pretty much a temporary shield.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
And
you're
I
right.
used to-
It was Samaria.
And I do still recall the little quirky, awkward zombie comic that just talked about how, like, the other spellcasters probably all were like, Pachi, you created this cane of ultimate power, and that's all you're doing with it? And Pachi's just like, yes, and just proceeds to make Somali's hat turn upside down.
Another thing is that once you create a block with the Fire Rod, if you use it again, the block will explode in a burst.
Whoa.
Just like the cane of
Whoa.
Samaria.
Did it do that?
Yeah, if you shot at it again, it would split it into four fireballs.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know
Or
that.
something to
Very
that something to that extent.
Well,
It-
it's
very
not that
much
I
the
didn't
same
know that.
principle.
It's been a while since I played any A Link to the Past related game.
Well, you should play it again.
Well, to be fair, you were with us when we were doing A Link to Laddie's Pants. You probably should have remembered that much.
I have a terrible short-term memory.
Well, with Virtual Boy Advance and stuff, you should definitely give it a shot still.
Yeah, or heck, The Link to the Past is still readily available on the Super NES app.
That too.
Among other things, there's also Super Metroid, which I got to get back to playing at some point or another, just because Dread's literally like a few months from now as of this recording.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But yeah, that all being said, like I said before, this level's really not that bad at all. Like, especially compared to the original Ice Palace, where a good handful of it was It was very
Pits.
confusing.
Pits with ice physics and bumpers. Because why? What fun thing to have in an ice physics laden land than pinball
Berries!
physics?
And unlike the, God damn it! So, now,
I
unlike,
can imagine like just going, oh, god damn it.
yeah, it always gets in the way. But what was I going to say? Thankfully, the Ice Runes does not carry a similar dickish puzzle like the one in A Link to the Past, which you could easily cheese if you did have the Key to Samaria, which involved the placing a block or an ice block or whatever on that one button.
Yes, I remember that now.
Like that was super annoying.
You
How
know
was
what
that
was
thing?
you know what was really annoying? And it was like, oh, what was it? I think it was the Ice Temple in Four Swords Adventures. You had to throw a bomb and pray that they slid across the ice just enough, not too little or not too much, to hit 3 switches.
Yeah.
Thank you, power bombs.
Yeah, I think there's a mook in this sub area that those eyeball bombs that occasionally pop out, giving you an
Yes.
excuse to use a bomb if you don't already have them. I
can
mean,
see
if you
that.
already have the bombs on hand, especially the power bomb, like you could easily just cheese past all that.
Of course.
Oh, that's right. Then there's these floaty things that spit out bombs.
What are those things called again?
I
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea.
I do not care to understand. Wow.
But yeah, no. If in
It
the
sounds
event
like
you don't
there's
have
some type of like.
Maybe. Oh no! Here we go.
floating like oh well, I mean, this is probably the closest thing that the Ice Runes has to some annoyance to the Ice Palace.
Okay, there we go. Unlocked another elevator.
Wait a minute, what?
Wait a minute. What?
I was gonna look up A Link Between Worlds enemies.
Yes. the
Oh
one
my
that was
god,
flying
it
around.
exists!
What?
Huh?
A Link Between Worlds randomizer.
What?
Oh
what?
yeah. No. In the sense of, again, it's the kind of, I mean, doesn't surprise me. Basically, what the randomizer would do is it would take every single chest in the game, and hell, I bet there's even something where the items that you can purchase from Ravio are even different each run. Like, what if you had to buy the Pegasus boots from Ravio instead?
What fucking game doesn't have a randomizer anymore?
It's fun. It creates.
It is fun!
I think I already talked about this, but one of my favorite like randomizers in terms of like the creativity behind it is since it turns out that on a cartridge, the points in memory that the two games have actually leave a good number of like vacancies that so coincidentally allow us to basically take advantage of this, because if data is not being stored in one point, then yes, like if Linguine, if data is not being stored in one registry, then you can just use that to store data from something else. There's this incredible randomizer where effectively Link to the Past and Super Metroid are combined into one game. So
That's
you have the game of Link to the Past, but there will be sometimes little doors that you can go into, and when you go through those doors, boop, you're now in Super Metroid, and you can find
Behold, now Link is a woman.
Oh.
and now you'll find things like, oh, you're here in Legend of Zelda, and in Skull Woods you found a missile expansion, or you're in Super Metroid and where the morph ball is, oh cool, you found a Hylian shield, and so you have to like start going back and forth to effectively beat both games.
That's
Oh, by the way,
Jeez.
guys, I found what the enemy is called.
what's
What
it
was
called?
it?
A Keleon.
Keleon. Okay. And yes, before you ask, yes, I'm positive that the whole point of it was, and I'm positive that the whole point of it is yes, people want a fun, quirky challenge.
Yep.
Does Breath of the Wild already have a randomizer?
Let me double check.
Because when that game gets a randomizer, you know shit's about to go deep.
Well, I also
Or
guess
finish
it also takes into account like how far Switch emulation has come.
Well, there's also not even just that height. Like, if not emulation, then Switch modding is still pretty big.
Yep. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, there's a Breath of the Wild randomizer, but I'm trying to figure out what does it randomize.
Everything.
It says, to make the randomizer possible, a single number called seed is generated upon launching the new game.
Yeah, we understand how
software.
seeds work, but I want to figure out like.
Each seed reading corresponds with the placement of a key item and a designated check and a list of hints that are provided to guide your run.
Well, for instance, they randomize where Actually, no, I am.
Here, Logan, this is what I was looking at.
Yeah, I'm looking at the itch.io page.
Oh, yeah, so am I.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at it and I want to figure out like what are they randomizing, because for instance I don't think they can randomize the runes, and they definitely can't randomize the glider, otherwise how would you get off of the plateau?
Yeah.
Get away from us, Armos. or whatever those things are called, the cyclones.
I mean, technically you could still get to Ganon without the paraglider. I assume it'd be really fucking difficult.
Oh yeah, no, you just have to find enough to be able to safely get down. Or, you know what? Okay, I could see it working if sometimes randomizers will give you little nudges and stuff to help along. I could see it working if it gave you at least one fast travel point off of the Great Plateau.
That scared me
That you
for a
could just
second
go
there,
to
not
right
gonna
away.
lie.
Oh hey,
Alright.
So this area's big MacGuffin is the stamina scroll, which extends the length of our bar.
How far?
which
That's
is gonna
good.
be
It
absolutely
didn't even look like
broken.
it grew that far.
It doubled, I think, or went up by at least a half of a. It's like 1.5 times as big.
Either way, it is still fairly convenient, and I know there will be one other stamina upgrade we'll get later that, if not extends it further, then decreases the amount that gets sucked up.
And we'll
Or spent.
Yep, and we'll pretty much open up everything as far as like, you know, want to spam your fire rod and just go to town. Then by all means, want to
This
basically
looks like
hang
a
on-
recipe for disaster, but who cares? I'm Linguine. I am pretty much the disaster in the making.
Well,
Oh, well.
Where did the
Okay.
floor go? What? Oh no!
Oh, there's
Now
some
we're
grass.
back in
Ow.
familiar territory.
I
Blech.
don't like this familiar territory. I like the part
yeah,
of my
I'm
familiar
a little
territory that.
screwed.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Oh, come on.
Also, did I fail to mention that this game does not have any sort of equivalent to the Bombosa medallion?
no!
Quake,
So
or
we
Ether?
actually nope. So we gotta freaking do it. Yeah, actually, there are no medallions for this. Nope, you just gotta do it the old-fashioned way now. There, bomb is
Which
dead.
would be a much bigger problem if, again, like I said, this wasn't the most agile Link in a top-down game.
Full
Yeah.
movement. No,
Just,
omnidirectional.
if we're gonna bring back any sort of, if they're ever gonna make a brand new over-the-top
Oh.
Zelda game in the future, like, this is pretty much the foundation they should follow from now on, because I don't want to imagine a Link to be any more clunky than this.
Oh!
Oh, jeez!
Oh,
And I forgot if we had already asked all this. Was this developed in-house or was this a similar
This was
situation?
in-house.
Okay.
This was completely in-house.
Okay, then yeah, I did not know at the time. I didn't know if this was like a Samus Returns kind of situation, but yeah, no. I
Oh,
think they
no,
should-
no. They very much made this game straight. I believe this is another EPD special.
Okay, and bang.
Straight from the same minds that gave us 3D Land, 3D World, and Odyssey and Breath of the Wild.
And potentially Donkey Kong. Just throwing this out there, please. But no,
Yes, please.
but I am thinking like, yeah, like, well, I mean, okay,
Oh,
so
jeez.
oh,
are there?
Yeah!
Is there anything?
You know, the mess is more or less gone when if it has to get to you from the side.
Die. Is there anything that you would have liked them? Is there anything that you would like them to bring from Link's Awakening DX or Link's Awakening Remastered?
That's a good question.
Because that came out after this.
It did.
Oh, no.
And, I mean, I'm not going to give that remake too much crap because it was more or less keeping itself mostly true to its roots, aside from the much-needed quality of life improvements like the multiple button usage.
Literal. I'm surprised that didn't hurt.
But, I mean, honestly, beyond, the aesthetics, which
Anyway.
in and of themselves, I wouldn't mind if they did something a little more than just the typical chibi stuff.
Mhm.
But other than that, I can't really think of much else. Like, I mean, personally, I wouldn't mind them trying again with the whole seamless overworld, overworld travel. Although, there's also the matter that they kind of need to do something about how the game will stutter whenever you go into a quote-unquote new portion of the map.
Right, because it's trying to load it all. That makes sense.
Which I'm willing to bet was only the case because I believe they reused the Link's Awakening not Link's Awakening, Link Between Worlds engine.
Huh.
Or whatever they use for Triforce Heroes anyway, because it is the same devs.
Fair. Okay.
Otherwise, whatever the case may be, I wouldn't mind this style of Zelda to come back again, especially in,
Yeah.
Switch form.
yeah.
But like I keep saying, I just wish Zelda. I mean, Hilda would get a 3D debut at some point.
Well, isn't this technically a 3D debut for her?
Technically speaking.
Well, technically, but I meant really 3D.
It's basically on the similar level to Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess.
Well, I guess it really
I mean,
depends on if there really is
yeah.
any stories left to tell with Hello
Which,
World.
you know what? When you really stop and think about it, technically that already exists. That's Twilight Princess Zelda.
Yeah.
What?
She's pretty. Yeah, she's pretty.
Like, you cannot tell me that
despondent.
you cannot tell me that Hilda's design was more or less inspired from Twilight Princess Zelda.
There are some parallels, and especially in their demeanors, you could say there's some parallels as well in terms of.
The
like,
only thing I can see is their demeanors. I don't really see any design similar.
Well,
They
their
share,
hair's kinda similar.
they share similar dress design, and their hair is more or less the same.
How is it similar?
The hairstyle.
because the
How can you
the
not
length,
see it?
the length. He's not talking about the color palette. He's talking about like the length and like some of the trimmings and stuff.
Yeah, it's more so. It's
Zelda
more so.
doesn't have that trimming that you did in Twilight Princess.
There are some. You know what? Just because I do believe in James's point, I'm gonna pull them up and look them at. I'm gonna look at them side by side. Meanwhile, I almost wonder if maybe Ice Rod would be better against these guys, so that you could like drop things on top of them. But otherwise,
Could be, but
I did it!
Oh,
I did it.
I
Actually,
think.
now, actually, just by googling Hilda without any other context, I was reminded of that one Hilda animated show on Netflix. It looks okay.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. I
that
almost
one.
forgot that show existed.
Same.
I'll give it a look, see. But yeah, meanwhile, I'm gonna look at this and then look at Twilight Princess Zelda now.
I mean, they may not be like 1-to-1, but there's clearly some
Okay.
similarities.
Okay. So first off, they both definitely. Okay. So first off, they both got the really angular like shoulder pads.
Mhm.
So they definitely got that.
They both sort of have like a tank top sort of design on their tops.
Every
both got
every
the
Zelda
cast.
does.
They both
Not
got
every
the,
Zelda.
They got
Oh,
the little.
almost
Two,
every.
Not like that anyway.
they got the two
What?
tassels. They got. Oh, we made it.
Yeah, we're already at the
Already?
end.
Oh.
And
Oh, that's right, a game.
this thing right here is our boss.
That doesn't look like Argus to me.
I'm convinced I've seen this sort of design before in another Nintendo game. I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, for now, just again, flame rod it and then blast it. Ow.
Ow.
It's got its own boomerangs. There we go.
Actually, in some weird way, I'm also... It's not the same thing, but I'm sort of reminded of what was it? The Winter Fiend from Wario World.
I can do that.
I can see that. And I
It
see
kind of has a similar aesthetic with its hair.
well, when it gets all crystallized and stuff, it does remind me a little bit of the boss of the mansion in Twilight Princess. Not to immediately go back onto that game. Whoa.
Oh, Blizzetta?
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Still throwing this out there again. I find it cute that out of all this, they do hang on to some of the sound design of the original.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, like you'd be surprised how well some of that can still work out when it's not compressed.
Oh boy.
He's gone full Mephiles on us.
God damn it! It really is Mephiles. It really is just
Dance!
It's Mephiles' eye.
It does look a bit like that. All right, well, it's like when it starts to look a little bit neon. And oh, that's what the triangle does.
Yeah, it freezes you on contact.
They did that in Twilight Princess too when you fought Puppet Zelda.
Oh yeah, with the eyes going wild and stuff.
Like I said,
No,
the
with
comparisons just keep
the
coming.
triangle.
Oh right, because she was using the Triforce against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought the Triforce of Wisdom was supposed to help us.
Well, to be fair, I don't think she had control over that because Ganondorf was possessing her.
Right, as a puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm just saying, that game should have
Nice.
they should have just let that primarily be a Xan thing.
Wait, what?
I'm just talking about how that. You know, that's a tangent we can go on whenever we do Twilight Princess. The whole
Fair
thing of, Ganon feeling like he kind of just hijacked the plot.
Yeah.
Right, and when
Yep.
Zan had his own thing, and then just oh.
And then Zant turned out to be pathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he didn't have to be, there was definitely some stuff there.
Yes, but he's our pathetic loser.
We need.
Speaking of pathetic losers, Hype, it's time for you to voice this guy again. For the record, I'm talking about the character.
I know.
Sure you were.
To be fair, we haven't seen this dude since we got the Titan, the Power Glove earlier. Anyway.
Well, just look at this. Who would have thought I'd see you here, jerk?
Not I. I didn't think you were
I was the
relevant
one
to
that
the
said
plot.
that.
Not all that surprised to see me, though. I've known for a long time that I was a sage. Never told anyone, though. It wasn't really a secret. I was just too busy mining all the time to mention it.
What?
Oh, you.
Speaking of busy, you still got some work to do here. Find the rest of the 7 sages, okay?
Okay.
Duly noted.
At least he's okay with
If you
taking
do,
off work.
you'll be all the stronger, Linguine.
Thank you. Well, 2 left.
Yeah, we're pretty much at the end of our rope, sort of.
The Master Sword looks different somehow. Has it put on weight?
Uh-huh.
That's right.
The blacksmith tempered it for you, huh? Where'd he scare up such fine ore to do that? Well, just be glad he didn't have that for you. Say hi to him for me the next time you see him, okay?
Oh, got it, Buster.
I'm not sure what he says if you didn't already have your sword tempered.
I don't know.
Not sure. Well, with that said, we are
That was a thing.
again ever one step closer. We're down to 2 temples left.
Yep.
Wow.
And they're more or less far apart from each other and not quite as cold. At least I assume.
Thank
So,
goodness.
see you all next time as we make our way to the Skull Woods. And probably do some cleanup in the process.
Sounds good.
Till next time, everybody.
Bye.
Skull?